I literally put that terms of service into the AI and asked it a question. Based on what you see here, is this a good service to use? This business podcast, the Two Business Guys Mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks to entrepreneurship as they mastermind on how to have startup, operational, and overall business success so that you can go on to get better results. Enjoy. Rob, we're back. The Two Business Guys are going to be mastermind today, y'all. We're going to be talking about that what if business plan. I mean, what if basically is a question you can ask of anything. What if I did this? And then the business plan, how would we, knowing what we know now, Rob, knowing all the tools that we have now, we got engines, we got AI. I got one that I want to show you, man, that I think is a Google and ChatGPT killer. I've been using it pretty extensively, right? So, and I've been using it in weird ways. One, in terms of, I did you know how you have a terms of service where someone says, here's our terms of service. If you go with us, terms of service, I literally put that terms of service into the AI and asked it a question. Based on what you see here, is this a good service to use? Based on the terms of service, I told it, you are a top attorney in this area, and it says no, based on these things. So you're using it in ways like that. So when you're business planning, how we used to do a business plan is totally changed. So I want to talk into that a little bit, Rob. You consult with a lot of companies. You look at a lot of businesses that are already running. How do you, when you're looking at these businesses, knowing what you know now, what you say to them, your business plan is whack?
Yeah. I think, well, it's interesting that you bring it up that way because it all depends on what stage of business you're in, right? First thing that I'll say is before we get into this conversation for the audience, I want y'all to know something because I think a lot of times these conversations start with or they seem to give a premise that is not actually there. And so let's say it this way. Business is hard.
It is.
Being successful in business is hard. The idea that you can figure out a way to do something better, cheaper, or faster than it's already being done, like it's presumptuous to start, right? So I don't want you all thinking that like there's a crystal ball or a magic wand or something that you just, can make something happen. However, there are certain things and certain principles, certain best practices that you'll start to see. And that's where you start to realize that certain people, right, are just barely getting by. And there's a lot of upside in the space. I think to give that a little bit of context, in the businesses that I see, there's some businesses like that sucks, period, don't do it, right? Like selling ice in Arctic, like you probably don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's just
bringing
bad.
back VHS tapes. Yeah,
right.
don't do that.
It's just there's no upside to this business model. So that's the first thing. But I think to your question, given that context, the thing that I really look at for people is those three things. I remember I was sitting in, and I didn't come up with this. I learned it. I saw a guy who was much smarter than me and had made way more money than me. When I was in law school, I was in a intercession class. It was called Representing the Entrepreneurial Startup. And one of the speakers that was in the class came in, and he was the guy, he is a Harvard grad, had started while they were still in Harvard, had started Sparks Notes to rival Cliff Notes, right? And Sparks Notes was where Cliff Notes gives you the Cliff Notes version of books and everything. Sparks Notes was the Cliff Notes versions of classes. And so they created notes for classes that they could sell and that you could get, and it, blew up into this business. And then they went and created this website called okcupid.com. Which they then sold to Match.com for $50 million, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that he said is they're kind of serial entrepreneurs. They want to get into an industry, work about 4 or 5 years, build a team, build a business, and have an exit, and then move on to their next thing. And what he said they look for in any industry, whenever they're thinking about what industry they're going to jump in, what business they're going to start, they look for one of three things. Can they do it faster? Can they do it cheaper? Or can they do it with better service or better quality? And so those are the things that I would look at if you're starting a business, if you're running a business and you are not sure that you can do it faster, that you can do it cheaper, or that you can do it better, quality or service, that's the first place that I would tell people to look. And in order to do that, you got to be aware of your marketplace. You got to be aware of your competition, and what is currently available on the market. And that's where I see most business owners struggle, is that they have no idea what's currently available on the market that rivals what they do and what the differences are in those things.
And mine is so similar, but yet different, right? I'll give you an example based on a recent consulting that I had. Young lady had 2 ideas, right? Now I says, okay, tell me the ideas. And once I heard the idea, and I don't want to, say much now, but of what those ideas was, because she's still spinning them up. I says, okay. I said, let's find out if there's anybody buying in that space. That's it. Super simple. I says, okay, idea 1, you want to be a boom. I said, okay. I said, let's go to trends.com. Literally. First things first. I went over to trends.com or Google, Google Trends, right? So I go over here. I'm going to show you all trends.google.com. All right. That's the first thing I do. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. Now, I happen to be, I'm going to pull it up here and then we'll go over there to it. First things first. This is how it looks for me over here, right? So let's double check that. Make sure I got the right screen up. All right. And I'm going to just use one that I was looking at the other day, because as y'all know, I'll go in, I don't care what I'm selling. If it's selling, I'm selling it. Right. So, but it's a process. So this one happens to be, if you want to go into products business and you want to sell, let's say, heatless hair curler. No harm, no foul, right? We're just checking it out. First thing is, I'm going to see if it is selling. So this right here, this trend will tell me over the past 5 years, heatless hair curlers is doing something. Look at this. It was nothing back here. And all of a sudden we had a spike in 2021. Then it started kind of constantly going up. That's the first indication that something's going on, right? I will then go over it and I'll say, well, that's worldwide. What if I just want United States, because I don't want to sell anywhere else but the United States, right? So I would literally go in, change that, and see what changes. All right. I'll say, okay, heatless hair curlers here in the United States. What's happening? Okay, well, wait a minute. It's still got a little bit of a bump there. Right. Then I'll say, well, where is it selling the most? So what you're doing is you're taking out the guesswork, y'all. It's telling you, is there a potential customer? How do I know? That's proof. So, and then I say, where are they? If I'm in my little hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan, like I live, I may go, well, they may not be buying here, but where are they buying? Because I want to make sure that when I produce it or put it in front of people, I want to put it in front of people that are buying it. This is one of the first things that I'll do, right? I'll look at past 5 years. Then I'll go and says, well, what's happening in the past 12 months, right? Because past 5 years, you got COVID in there and all that kind of stuff. Anything could happen. So then I'll go, okay, wait a minute now. It may be on a downtrend. What's going on here? July 9th, it's right down here. Back in 2022, November, it was way up here. But I'll still determine whether or not I got something. I'll then go down here and says, well, who else is selling this? Because now I want to look at my competition. Again, like Rob said, can I, based on who's out there selling it now, do it faster, cheaper, or better? I'm going to look at who's in the market. All right, look at this. Conair. Now we know they're big. Robe, Cute Curls. I want to look at who's already doing something, but mainly I'm still trying to find out if this thing is selling well. I got breakout here, breakout here, breakout. In other words, a breakout means it is being searched over 5,000 times a month. That's a breakout moment, right? So I'm looking at these kinds of things and asking that question. The next thing I'm going to do, Rob, is I'm going to go now with AI. I'm going to go into, here's one that I found that you'll love. It's called Perplexity AI, right? So I'm going to do a new thread. Perplexity AI is, oh my gosh, I think personally, this is the Google and ChatGPT killer. Look at this. It'll say, ask me anything, but it allows you to upload a file now. It's a different kind of answer engine. It uses a little bit of ChatGPT, but it also uses a little bit of Bing type approaches, blah, 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 right? So now what did I got? Heatless hair curlers. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that, right? I'm going to go over to my spot. I'm going to ask this new GPT, right? New style GPT. Is this a, let's say it's differently, and I'll say, let's see, Control V, heatless hair curlers. Now watch what's happening, y'all. This is how you're determining, do I got a market? Do I got a market? Do I got customers? I put in is heatless hair curler, and then it starts kind of trying to anticipate what you're going to say next. Now that's kind of Google-ish, right? But not the same. And you'll see here in a minute why. So it says how to use a heatless hair curler before and after hair curl. So these are kind of things that people are searching for, y'all. It's telling us that we got a market. It's telling that you have somebody that's searching for it. A good business, a good, let's say good product to sell, right? Now let's just ask, go to here. It then pops in some information. It says, okay, here's heatless hair curler market share, size, growth, 2023. So it's now already telling me, here's the answer. If you notice here, right? Based on the results, it seems that heatless hair curlers are a popular product with a growing market. Oh, the answer engine told me this. Now, but here's the difference between the ChatGPT approach and this one. ChatGPT has been trained up to 2021, right? The large language models, blah, 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 without getting too nerdy here. It's only been trained up to 2021. This is current news. You see what it says here? 2023. You won't see that in a ChatGPT, right? Or OpenAI is a version of it. But this one is giving me current data. And now I got an idea. Wait a minute. It's saying popular product with a growing market. Bam. It also gives me, get this, the source. That's beautiful. So now you kind of go, okay, if this thing is making stuff up like ChatGPTs and GPTs can do, I can at least search it out. They are designed to curl hair. It tells you a little bit about that, right? And then it says, would you like to ask a follow-up question here? But then it says, here's some related information. What are the different types of heatless hair curls available in the market? That's going to get me in the competition. How to market and promote what? I didn't even ask that. But it's already telling me what are the pricing ranges. Now I'm giving the very things that you would see and want to know on a business plan, y'all. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? Are y'all tracking all of this good stuff? Right now, here it is. We first put in our idea. We then search out whether or not it is selling. In other words, do I have a potential customer? Because I'm going to build my avatar from that. Now, if you notice, this is the two business guys mastermind way of doing a business plan, right? It's different what you see out there. It's different because we know we've seen these businesses, we've seen them grow, and we've seen them die.
Yeah.
Right. But look at this. It then says to me, my answer, because these are answer engines, it gives me places to go to do more research. Bam, I want that. Then it says, overall, it seems the heatless hair curlers could be a good product to sell because guess what? That's what I asked it. As they have a growing market and are a healthy alternative to traditional curling methods. Look at this. It says, however, it's important to note that heatless hair curlers may not provide perfect curls in comparison to hot tools. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to say, okay, based on what I know, could I make a couple of bucks from this? Does it make sense that I go and produce one? Like Rob said, is it faster, cheaper, or better? Right? But do I have to make it all those things? Could I just be different? Could I be the same thing said different? Right? The new damage-free hair curling. Oh, that's a new presentation of the same thing. right? All this kind of stuff, right? Then what happens next, Rob? What happens next is I'm going to look at all of these. I'm going to determine what's out there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's go test it, y'all. I'm going to go over to another tool that I use. I want to show y'all this, right? I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create a little funnel. And I'll leave a link in the description field for all this stuff. I'm going to say heatless. I'm going to just say hair curler. Right now, why am I doing this? Well, simply because I want to see if I can build an audience around my new approach, my faster, cheaper, or better, or different. Same thing said differently, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I want to build a little audience. So I'm going to go out and create a one-page funnel or a one-page website. All right. So here it is right here. I'm going to pop it open. And then I'm going to start building a basic. I'm going to use one of the templates here. I'm going to find something that I like. And then I'm going to say, you know what? Can I build this thing better? Let's use this one right here. Now, this is the steps that I'm taking you through, y'all. This is a little bit different than a basic business plan. This is an action plan. How about if we call it that? Right? So I'm going to first go here.
I like that.
Yeah, it's an action plan because I want to see if somebody will act on this based on these parameters. Before I do all this market research, like the boring basic business plans that we've seen, when we do it the two business guys mastermind way, then we add these different inputs. All right. So first thing to do, I'm going to go ahead and says, okay, let's go see it. I can create something that has a curler on it. That I can say, do my different things. So I'm going to put my curler here. This is just a picture. So I'm going to change out this picture. I'm going to put a curling iron on it that looks like what I want it to look like. And then, you can get those things built for like nothing. So the key becomes, can I bring people over to this page that are already searching for this product? I'm saying some different things. I'm going to use an awesome headline right here. I'm going to change all of that. And then I'm going to say, hey, would you like to see what we have to offer? I want to see if I can get people over to my product. Determine if I can peel off from the market. I'm going to say some of the cool stuff that Rob talks about. Hey, how can I say it that it shows that it'll be faster? How can I say it that it shows it's going to be cheaper? How can I say that it's going to show that it's going to be better quality? That becomes one of the key things, right? And then I'm going to drive people over to something like a little landing page. I'm going to collect some data, and then I'm going to sell to that data. They give me an email address. They say, I want to find out. I want to be the first. I want to be, get in line for the discounted price because you're trying these new things, whatever it is, right? Or I'm just going to be different and get them over here and start selling them. So those are some of the first steps, Rob, that I would take. I'm going to jump off this real quick.
I love it. So, and the cool part about everything that you just outlined, right, is what I have seen is traditionally left off is even the mistake that I made when I started my business. So again, it's market research, right? One of the hardest things, and it's difficult because, right, when we have our ideas, we think that we're, one of one and we're the unicorn and we're the special one. And there's a part of that you don't want to diminish. There's a part of that you don't want to kind of tamp down when you're first starting, especially if you're a beginning entrepreneur. Right. You want to live in that space, but there's a give and take in this. There's a cost benefit in this. And that is, right, the reason why serial entrepreneurs or business people are able to do this so much better as they go forward is because what you start to understand is, especially once you've done it before, right? And I think this is one of the lessons that I've learned recently, having been successful at a business and been successful at and coached different business and done all the rest of the things, but being successful in my own right. I know what success feels like. I know what it is versus what it's not. And so I'm not worried about, can I be successful again? Right. They talk about, if you take a millionaire and you take away all their money, take away everything, right? Give them 5 years, they'll be a millionaire again. Right. The whole idea is, once you know how to do it, no one can take away from you the fact that you know how to do it. I know how to build a business. I know how to scrape. I know how to scramble. I know how to network. I know how to do all the things to build a business. Then you get to the point what Randy and I are kind of talking to you about is how to do it better, how to do it faster, how to do it with how to do it cheaper. And one of the first things that is there are lots of good ideas that are going to come across your mind.
Yes.
The question is not, is your idea a good idea? The question is, can you get your idea to make you money quickly?
Yes, yes.
And once you get to that space where it's not a question of are you good enough, it's is the idea good enough? Because you know you're good enough. That's the key thing that I want you to pay attention to. When
Ooh,
you
that's
have
good.
that strength, that self-confidence, once you know that you can do it, then the beauty is you can do the market research, which will make you faster at doing it.
That's
Because
one of
you'll
those things
avoid
we
all the
talk about.
trial and error things. Yeah.
We talk about the levels. This is a level what of opportunity. You are here and you're basically asking that question. Is it worthy of me and my time?
Yeah.
Right. I think I
Right.
heard the guy from Ready, Fire, Aim, I think talked about that. He says, you're basically looking at an ideal and asking, is this idea worthy of my time? Or said another way from Alex Hormozy, who says, level what opportunity? Is this a level 10 opportunity? Because if you're a level 10 person, and then you go into this level 2 opportunity, there's going to be a mismatch.
Exactly.
And it's not going to make sense. I mean, we don't always have that confidence though, Robert. You know what I mean? We're starting off, we don't always have that confidence. We don't know.
That's the
we
whole
don't know
thing.
really how good we are.
And so for the people that are struggling with that, and that's why I want to kind of get that disclaimer. There's a piece, and you know where you are, audience out there on the journey, you know where you are. But there's a piece where it happens where it switches, where you stop asking, am I good enough for the opportunity? And you start asking, is the opportunity good enough for me? And that is when a lot of these things, these tools that Randy just gave you, going through and looking at what is in the market, are people using this? Are people, all of that information is information that you want to do because you need to know that the opportunity is going to be worth your time and energy, because you already know that if you put your time and energy to it, it's going to fit, it's going to materialize. Now you've got to start being more judicious about how you spend your time. There are certain things that I won't do because they don't pay enough. There's still good opportunities. There are opportunities that I would have taken 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But now they're not good opportunities, right? I remember when I first started my business, I had 3 part-time jobs where I was making somewhere between $10 and $20 an hour. Now, the time that I spent in those part-time jobs, I could spend spinning something up that'll make me all of the money that I would have made in those part-time jobs once it's spun up. And so I'm confident that if I take 2 months, I can go make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000.
And that's where you get back to the what if, right? Why we wanted to call it the what if business plan. So what if you spent the same amount of time that you would have done on that job, done on this situation, done on that, and just put it here? I ask that question constantly of myself. I'm not perfect, y'all. This is when I wake up in the morning, what I get on myself about is, did I put in enough time to get out what I say I want for my goals? Did I put in enough time? And if I don't, I'm jumping on myself. I was like, you know what? You blew it yesterday, because you know you could have did 4 more videos and then put those videos out in some kind of form or fashion that then led people to your landing page or led people into your email, that you could have got 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different emails that day and therefore been able to sell to them. Did you do it? I mean, it's kind of deep, y'all, but did you do it, or did I not? And that's what you're asking of yourself.
But and again, I want to temper, because we watch a lot of these podcasts with a bunch of different entrepreneurs, and the one thing I want us to be different about in this space is to be honest about the fact that there are different levels, and there's different levels of understanding and belief. Like, a lot of people will be like, you just got to grind until you just got to. No, that's not true. Like, stop that. You're giving people complexes, and that's what I feel like a lot of people sometimes have. You're giving people complexes where they're feeling like they're not good enough, and the whole key is this: there's a real thing about how much you believe in yourself, and there's a process to that. It's stair steps. It's not big gargantuan leaps. You don't go, and I love this. Steve Harvey said it this way, and I love when he said it. He was like, people come up to him all the time like, man, I got $1 million idea. He's like, don't come to me with $1 million idea. Here's what I want you to do: take a $1 idea and sell it 10 times. Now that you've made $10 with that $1 idea, find a $10 idea and sell it 10 times. Now that you made $100 with that $10 idea, take a $100 idea and sell it 10 times. Now that you've made $1,000 with that $100 idea, take $1,000 idea and sell it 10 times. Now that you made $10,000 with that $1,000 idea, take a $10,000 idea, and you keep going. And eventually you will have built up the confidence that even if this $1 million idea don't work, you can take this $100,000 idea, sell it 10 times and make $1 million.
See, I'm stair stepping. I've got a marketing class coming up here on the 17th, right? Depending on when you're listening to this, it may or may not have already passed, but I'll leave a link to, maybe a webinar or something, an automated webinar. But anyway, sold it out. I wanted to get in my mind, I wanted to get at least 20 people at $50. Now I'm bringing the heat, y'all. This is going to be good. And 42 people hit the page, right? Because I keep track of how many people went to the page. But what more importantly, 20 plus have paid. That's an indication. That's $1,000, right? To what Rob is saying, right? It is sell this small part first. Now, I'm going to have all kind of back end opportunities and all kind of stuff like that. I've learned some stuff from the Mike Filsains of the world and blah, 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 right? Is that, after you have it, that's when you can sell more and all that. I got that. But can I get them there first? And can I get them? And I did some of all the cool stuff that you do, right? Offered it for X amount of dollars, not too high, enough that you're going to get value. I said, I'm going to be using AI tools. I talked a little bit about that on the landing page. The landing page wasn't too dense. I found people that want to know this information. So I had the audience, all that kind of stuff, man. And the cool thing is when this is what they just already have signed up for. I haven't even opened it up for the week of. The week of is when I go, hey, are you coming? We got some slots left. People have already paid. You can literally say this many people have paid because that has happened. So now you get a little bit of the, a little bit of, you don't want to miss out on this. You don't want to miss out, the fear of missing out. And then that's what I'm talking about, y'all. So you do the first one, it gets you $1,000, right? Now keep in mind, $1,000 one time. You're going to bring the value. You're probably going to get more from while you're going to be selling different things. And then you're going to record that. So now you've got this many customers already having paid, already coming. You can literally say, okay, how do I X that? 2X, 3X, 4X. That's the kind of business plan that we talk about, right? This is how, when we're working with us, two business guys, we're masterminding on your business or whatever it is. That's how we go about it. If you got an existing business, we're constantly looking at it and saying, where are the opportunities?
Exactly.
Given what we now know, right? How can we reinvigorate what you're already doing? How can we take a slice and go sell that? And you might find out, hey, wait a minute, my slices are selling better than my whole. Well, right? So that, anyway, that's some of the things that I wanted to go over. I wanted to show you that the kind of business plans I'm going to probably build this out and have a step-by-step entrepreneurial to-do list kind of a thing. I'll probably do that for you. So I might be able to have a link so that you can click on and go over to, this is how it looks, stepped out. But in the meantime, take a look at the videos or this video, break it down. I'm going to show you a couple other tools. Rob, I got some more tools, man. You want to see some more?
Yeah, go ahead. I got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, so here it is, y'all. I want to show you this tool right here that's been helping me a lot, right? And let me go to the tool first. This one right here. All right, now this one right here is called the Eureka app. I don't think I'm an affiliate for it, but I should be. But look at this. What this is going to be doing is it's going to tell you whether or not people are already doing courses in this area. Right. So now we look at it from the standpoint of, well, I've got SEO, I got social media, I got Google Trends, I got all this stuff, but I want to know if my product is already being sold in some kind of fashion. This right here is another proof statement. So here it is. What we do is we look at it and we see if we go into a key phrase. All right. Let's say we do something like leadership. Rob's in the leadership space, right? So I'm going to go and search. I want to see if any courses, number one, are being sold in the leadership space. So I'm going to go ahead and hit search. Right? Look at that. It says, oh, wait a minute. I'm searching over 260,000 courses, right? And then what I want to do is I want to find out how much are they selling? And then I'm going to do some recon, Rob. You're going to like this, man. So it's showing you that over 4,173,698 courses in the leadership based on that keyword, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's giving me an opportunity score. It says, look, this ain't going to be good for you unless you have a built-in audience.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're going to lean right into that because, well, I don't want to go into necessarily the blue ocean and there's no fish. I want to go right over there to the red ocean and go, what y'all doing differently? What's missing? And then create from there, right? But look at this. It says on different platforms that they're selling, all of these courses right here, right? You got LinkedIn Learning, you got Skillshare, you got edX, but I want to look at the Coursera's and I want to look at the Udemy, right? Because I know Udemy sells like really cheap courses because they can get it there. And then I'm going to look at it and see if I can do something different. Now, what I'm going to also do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at the platform, right? I'm going to ask questions of it. I'm going to say, it's okay, cool. All right, I'm seeing where it is, but I just want to pick a couple, the ones that selling the most, right? I want a Coursera. I want Skillshare. And you see what I'm doing here, y'all, is I'm just clicking in those. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want these. All right, great. Just show me those. All right, nice. Now, when I go over here, I'm looking at what's already making money. Look at this. Somebody exercising leadership. It's saying that they've already made $42,564 and y'all see the math, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's had 306,000 students. Key thing, it's made money. So is this a potential course that I can get into? Yes, it's made money. Nothing's lying to me. I'm not guessing anymore. So look at that. So now I'm also looking at, that's on edX, right? I'm looking at, this one's a $49 course. So they got Udemy at $19. That's a shame, but look at this. All right. It says, well, and I think I did the math wrong. I think that's $42,564,580. $3,673,482. Bam. Right at $19. So I'm saying the high end is 139. The low end was 19. Could I build something that's better? Put it in a course. Now I'm gonna go into this a little bit, y'all, because you got me here. This is how we business plan in the new era. This is a new kind of business plan. We're planning based on what we know to be true. It's selling. Boom. That's it. Now, this is what we're going to do next. I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to find these top ones, $11 million, becoming a successful leader. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Inclusive leadership training. I'm going to pop into here. I'm going to look at it, y'all. I'm going to say, what is going on here? Who are people? Because I'm going to search them out. They got 227,000 students, right? I'm going to find out what is it that they're selling that's so good. Here's their sales page description copy. Are we going to model that? Are we going to Kobe that to Michael Jordan? Are we going to Michael Jordan to Dr. J? This? Absolutely. We're going to look at exactly what they're talking about. We're not going to copy it, but we're going to model it. We're going to reverse engineer it.
Definitely.
Right? Look at this. It's telling us everything. Here's the course outline. Right? I'm going to find out all the things I can about it. I'm going to go, okay, cool. That's what I know. All right. Come out of this. Let's get back out of here. Go back to my course research. But I think you all have an opportunity to see how we're then doing this, putting this stuff together so that you can get a leg up in a whole different way. And that becomes the opportunity, everyone. And that's what we wanted to show you. That's the opportunity when you do it a different way. Now let's go into one of these other ones. All right. So this one sold $6 million. Right? That's let's go to the Udemy. This is $19 they're selling it for. It gets a 4.7 rating. That's not too bad out of 5. 183,000 students. And it's under the subcategory of management, topic leadership in the business niche. Let's go ahead and pop this one open. See what we can learn about this one. All right. Now look how deep this goes. This is some guy named Chris. All right. $19, 2 hours, 41 minutes. So I'm going to have mine at a certain, can I do it? What Rob say? Faster? Can I do it cheaper? Can I do it better? Master leadership skills, techniques with highly practical advice and training. This is kind of his wrap. And then it goes into, here's what the introduction. So we're going to change some of these things. We're going to make them better. What makes a great captain? Everything. What makes a great captain? Well, Rob's in this space. He says, hey, look, I've been in the Marines. Let me tell you something. What makes a great leader? What makes a great, whatever y'all call them in the Marine Corps, right? Everything. So you're now replacing this with what you know.
Exactly.
Everything is management's fault. Oh, Rob can speak to that. He's talking with companies all the time. Now, you may not even be in this space, but you see an opportunity. What if you connected with a Rob that has the experience and y'all do something together? This thing made $3 million. Could you spin that and split that? Right. So look at this. Then you go into what he's talking about, motivation. Right. Look at this. What is a leader? Motivation, leadership styles, leadership styles, part 2. And you literally see what this person has made this money with. You say, can I do it faster? Can I do it cheaper? Can I do it better? Can I have a better headline? Now what we're going to do, of course, is go over to our course creator, right? Like we told you before, we're going to go over to our course creator, but in this time, we're going to say, you know what? I want to create a course. And I'm going to leave a link to this, y'all. I use it every day, right? So now in this particular case, instead of building a funnel, I'm going to say, well, I want to build a course, right? So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go into course. You see, I have courses in here already. I want to add a new course. And I'm just show you the beginning parts of it, show you how really kind of simple this is, right? I'm going to come up with a cool title. In this case, it's just going to be leadership for now. I'm going to describe a little bit of it. I want to do it in this, damn it. I'm going to be Chris now, right? I'm Randy, right? So then I'm going to go ahead and start the process of looking at what do I need to do? I'm going to upload some stuff, the photo. I'm going to upload a nice little logo that I'm going to create, right? Save this. Okay, so I'm going to say leadership. Now, I just wanted to show you this, everyone, so I can show you how quickly we can get this done. First things first, we test out, see if there's already selling. It is great. Is it really competitive? Okay, it is good, right? But I want to see if I can do it faster, cheaper, better quality, like Rob talked about, right? Then I'm going to save this. I'm going to go over here, open up my course, and then you start adding your modules, right? Are y'all seeing this? Add my module. It's going to be, what did the guy say? We're going to model it, right? What makes a great leader? Now, instead of just that plain thing, I'm going to say in this era of AI, because that's interesting, right? So now I want to know, how is a leader going to lead in the space of answer engines and AI that are trying to replace leaders? That might be your twist. That might be your different that you need to get your students in that want to learn new stuff. So let's go ahead and hit save there. All right. So now if you notice, we've got our modules. So now next thing is we want to say, okay, what's next? I want to add a lecture. Watch this. I just clicked on that, add a lecture, and get this, y'all. It then gives you, and this is the beautiful part, right? And why I love using this is it then gives you create a lecture, AI and leadership. Let's just, okay. AI and leadership, nothing fancy. Then I look here and I say, well, what do I want? What kind of template do I want? I want one with a video because I want to talk to them first, right? So let's go ahead and select that template. All right. So I got the template there. I says, okay, that looks good. Delay. I'm going to let them use it right away. Go ahead and hit save. Now I got my first lecture. Now let's pop into there. See what we can do. Now this is the fun part. I can literally build this out, Rob. Right? Look at this. First things first, I'm going to give them a video because that's what I want to do. Then I'm going to say, change all of this stuff right here instead of this lecture. Lecture 1 is going to be AI and you or something, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to pop in a video. We're going to probably, use one of the Two Business Guys Mastermind videos. But you see what's happening here, right? Is you're starting to build these things out. You then have the opportunity. And I want to share this with y'all. That's right. AI and you go in here, you talk a little bit about it. You've got the video that trains them, but watch this. you would then have the opportunity to earn more, because you may say something like, hey, I found a really good book. Here's one right here. Great CEOs are lazy. Y'all get it? Now watch this. I'm going to show y'all some gold now. Y'all with me? All right. So get this. We then go and says, well, I like this book. I like the CEOs are lazy. I want to use that as a reference opportunity, but I also want to use it as a chance to earn more. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the text, grab the link, because you're probably going to be selling as an Amazon associate, right? Right. Or at least as a seller. Right. So this is what I'm going to show you. Now I'm giving y'all gold. Now this is, I usually charge for this between 47 and 4,700. Okay. So let's just say, so I'm going to grab that code right there. Watch this, Rob. I'm going to go back over here. And let's say in my notes, I say something like, you know, I talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and put a link here. You cannot earn $1 million because you're not a CEO that's lazy. I'm going to then put in the URL of that book. Are y'all seeing that? Right? I'm putting in the URL. Let me double check, make sure that went in, of the book. There it is. I'm then going to save changes. And I want y'all to see how this works then. All right. So now, once I go into here, I'm going to see it a little bit differently. I then have linked it to the book in the note section. Are y'all seeing this? You're already given the course. You're making money there. And then as you link things to other opportunities to sell, you then make more. That's all I'm going to show you for now, because that's in the bigger course. It's some of the stuff that, we offer when we doing our live workshops we got coming up. We'll be rocking this stuff out. Now y'all got to pay for that.
And that Randy just showed you, just to be clear, just in case, it wasn't quite obvious. What he just showed you was how you, what we like to call is increase the order value, right? So
absolutely.
Ultimately, what just happened is people may have bought a course, but the lifetime value of the customer, because they bought the course, but then they buy a book, then they buy a workshop, then they buy this, all while they're in the course, means that for every customer you get, you're not just making 19 bucks, you're making 50, 75, 100, 150 bucks. Now, when you start looking at that 300,000 students going through this course, if 10% of them buy the extra stuff, you've just paid for another 300,000 students. It's the same as 300,000 more students grabbing your course.
And did you do it based on smoke, y'all? Did you business plan based on assumptions like most business plans we see, Rob? That they're like, you know what?
Yeah,
that's a guess. Well, there's 4 million people doing this. If I can get just 10% of them, stop that. If you look at the sharks, they'll start turning around at that point. They'll be like, you cannot assume that you'll get 10%. You haven't done any other factor. What I'm looking at is, are they already buying?
Yep.
Do I have customers that are already buying?
You've already sold to.
Curling irons. Are they already selling? Right. And now I could go deeper, y'all, but I should probably reserve this because I think I've given away the jewels a little bit. Then I go into another one that tells me how many people are searching for a particular product. Oh, okay. We'll just stop it with that. But my point is, this kind of business planning is different than the mess you've seen out there, right? That, oh, hey, here's the market. No. This is wholly different. This is based on real-time buying, real people searching, real products coming off the shelves. And then you start asking the questions. How can I make it faster? How can I make it cheaper? How can I make it better? Or how can I make it different?
Yes.
If you can do that, then you've created a business plan worth its salt that you could take to any investor and says, hey, here's the facts. Exactly. And in fact, they go, well, what have you done? You say, well, I put this little course together and I'm already selling. I just sold $1,000 worth just on, right. And then you go and says, well, oh, by the way, when those 1,000 came, I made $1,000 for that. When they were in the course, they bought more. I added more to my order cart, average order value, average cart size, same thing. Are y'all seeing it?
I love it. I think they get it.
Rob, we got to talk about some of the stuff you do. Rob puts groups together
We do,
Now,
and I want to get into
okay,
that
you
next
don't go
time.
that
They
deep.
we
Okay.
we already blown the brains out. Let's go ahead and let them breathe for a minute. Next episode we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing on this side. But I think that what Randy just did, if you all can get, I mean, he dropped so many nuggets, but if you can take the lesson of doing your market research, number one, and number two, figuring out in Jim Collins' book, he says fire bullets then cannonballs. If you can figure out how to sell a $10 thing, or to make $1,000 with $50 thing, or whatever it is, if you can do that first, then you can start spinning that up, because it gives you the confidence to keep going. And that's the important thing that you need. I think if you all take that away from this, it was definitely a great episode. And y'all gotta catch this gold. Watch it back, rewind it, pay attention to the apps that he's talking about. Click the links in the description, because he just gave y'all a ton of gold, of ways where you can do this so much faster than what
Yeah.
we had to do when we was first starting out.
And that's business planning way past 101, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
any 101er can look at this and says, well, that makes more sense.
Ding, ding, ding.
That way I'm not guessing.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can test out and validate the idea quickly. That way I don't have to, mortgage my crib, mortgage my house to on a guess.
Exactly.
I can have data that says it might work out.
Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. So awesome show today, man. This has been good. Y'all need to go back, rewind it, watch it 2-3 times. This is gonna be one of those classic ones.
All right. And we'll see you in the next video, y'all.